You start changing your situation, your health, your finance, whatever, right? You have to understand, man, that it's not just going to be, happily ever forever after at that point. A lot of people think that when they start on their journey, whether it's health, whether it's their career, entrepreneurship, you think that once you have certain information and move toward that journey, that it's just smooth sailing, brothers. That's the absolute wrong mindset to have, man. So I'm giving you a heads up, brothers. You have to understand that your past is going to come see you. You think that a part of you that has been attached to you your whole life, the people in your old circle, the old circumstances, you think that world is just gone? Contraire, moon frere. That world is just circling back around, man. It's just getting momentum. It's just recalibrating to the new you, saying, let me come back around and see if he's about that life. Every single time, bro. But when the Bible says to seek ye first the kingdom, brother, I'm gonna tell you where a lot of people miss the bus on that. A lot of people think that, when it's referring to the kingdom, a lot of people think that, once I transition, once I leave this world, once I have a physical death, then I will be back in the midst of God. I will be in the kingdom, and I will have this ultimate peace and bliss. But what you have to understand, man, you have to understand that kingdom can be obtained now. Not only can be, has to be obtained first. That has to be man's first journey, is finding that kingdom. Because if not, brother, you'll fall victim to this world, man. Find that state. Like when I say meditation, sleep, and death are all the same world. They're all the same world. It's just how deep you're submerged in it. The thing is, brother, you have to call that world your reality. You aren't praying. Your prayers cannot answer until you put boots on the ground, brother. Until you put boots on the ground. In other words, until you start the process of bridging the third dimension and the fifth dimension together, your prayers will not be answered, man. Even the Bible says faith without works is dead. Like everybody on the planet at this point has heard that in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But a lot of people are still stuck in their minds, man. A lot of people still can't make that transition to walking in that I am, man. You know what I understood too? What I come to find over the last few years.
First of all, the greatest thing on the planet is the knowledge of self, and basically the knowledge of the universe. For the mere fact that you are even interested in this or remotely interested in this at this particular time when shit is going on crazy out here, it means that you are the special evolved beings. Stop thinking like a human. You got to start thinking as a God. G-O-D, generator, operator, and destroyer. Is it not written in your law that ye are God? John chapter 10, verse 34, 35. But what is the hold up is that the actual gods do not realize they're God.
At ease. As always, it's good to see everybody chiming in. It's good to be alive today. I know here in Texas, it's sunny. It's going to be another 100-degree day. Life is good. Life is good. I mean, I don't care what's going on. We woke up today, brothers. We woke up today, sisters. So life is good, man. And again, it's just good to have y'all chiming in on a Tuesday afternoon, right? A great friend of mine who passed away last September 3rd, I believe it was. Brother named Wesley. I speak about him quite often, right? The brother said something to me, man, that changed my life, man. And to be honest, he was sitting right here when he said it. We were sitting here working on a project, man, and the brother was sitting here, man. We were just chopping up as normal. And he just paused. And you got to know Wes, man. Wes can be sitting there laughing and just step into being serious, just like nothing. And he paused and he got serious and he said, "So," he said, "man, before we die," he said, "we got to be great, brother." And I felt where he was coming from. And I can tell you this. Of course, we were already two brothers that were striving towards greatness. but it just made me, it just put me in a position, man, to want to double down, man, and definitely fulfill what that brother spoke into existence before he left this planet, man. So one of the main reasons I even like going live, man, is so that I can explore the mindsets of other brothers that are on the same path, brothers that are putting their kahunas on the table, brothers that are leaving, their old mindsets and traveling that path to find greatness, man. And I hope that in my efforts of bringing brothers and possibly sisters on that are fitting that bill, I hope that it inspires you. I hope that it inspires somebody out there, even if it's just one person, man, to say, you know what? I see the greatness in me. I can see the greatness in that brother Solik speaking to, and see that he was just like me. Now he crossed the gun line of life and is trying to do big things. That's the reason it's being done, brothers. That's the reason it's being done. So the brother that I'm having on here today, man, it is definitely one of those men that have made that conscious decision to be great. He's a man, that over the past couple of years, I've seen evolve in a variety of ways. So without further ado, I want to introduce the recording artist responsible for the album 100 Straight Days, which is fire. A brother that's a prominent member of the Power Circle, and a brother, man, that I'm proud to call my brother, man. I want to introduce to y'all brother Chris Cadet.
Believe me, ain't no time for all this greed and all this hate. That shit run deep and just divides and keeps us weak and stuck in place. Keep growing at your pace, keep showing up and giving what you owe, and just keep honing up the craft you undertake. Attract more than you chase. Just grasping that gon' lead you to that lake and them green pastures. Read them psalms and then I pray. Been going 100 days straight. Been going by the 100.
Brother Chris Cadet, good to see you, brother.
Hey, good to see you too, man. That intro is fire, my brother. You picked the perfect part of that song, man.
Man, hey, I'm gonna tell you this. I was listening to the whole album this morning on my walk/jog, and I've been listening to it over the last number of days, man. I said, dang, man, every track is just fire, bro. You did your thing on that, man.
Appreciate it.
You did your thing on that, man.
Yeah,
Hey, I want to start off saying this, bro. I want to do this, man, because I want to start off just by giving you your flowers now, man. And you and I, we've known each other for a couple of years, man. Of course, on social media, we're both brothers in the Power Circle. We're both brothers that, we cross paths virtually on Sundays when we have our chops. We've met each other in person twice in Atlanta, once in Arizona during our Power Circle meetings. And we can chop real quick. But I just want to tell you, man, that you're a brother that I hold high, man, because there are two things that stand out about you, man, that I really appreciate you as a man. One of those things is that, man, you are extremely disciplined when it comes to your evolution. And what I mean by that is, like I remember the first time I met you, bro, and then the second time I met you, I almost didn't recognize you because you had been in the gym so hard, and I was like, dang, bro, like you really went in. You put that same energy into your mindset. Now you're putting that same energy and discipline into your music. So that's one thing I want to recognize about you, right? And the second thing is one of the things that I see in very few men, people, and that's the ability to be the same person in every single room, man. And that sounds like something that's simple, but I understand, at this part of my life, when I see a man and he's the exact same person in every room, that means he's plugged into his truth. He only knows one way to live. And whether I'm seeing you on the internet, whether I'm seeing you on YouTube, whether I'm listening to your music, or whether me and you are sitting in the same room chopping it up, brother, you're the same man, man. So I just want to give you your flowers now and say, bro, if I never have this opportunity again, brother, you're doing your thing, man. So hats off to you, brother.
Appreciate you, bro. Likewise, man. Likewise. Yeah. I appreciate you for everything you do, man. And it just takes a lot to do all this work you're doing. And I understand anyone out there that's on their own journey, just trying to build, understands the strain that comes along with trying to pursue something great. So I appreciate you too, brother.
Man, appreciate that, brother. So I want to dive into the album, man. So 100 days straight, man. I can already tell that, the meaning behind it, man. The album cover, the tracks, the lyrics, man, it is heavy, bro. What was the inspiration behind it, man?
Man, the inspiration came from back in July of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
I was basically in a time where I was making a transition. I was coming out of the mortgage business,
Okay.
and I was basically establishing a life that I felt fit me better, fit me more as a person. I didn't want to be in sales anymore, and I had already been writing music for a while, consistently. Again, I started writing back consistently back in like 2021, but in 2023, I was going through a period of just really just darkness, man. I was just trying to find my way, find a way to balance out everything that was going on in my life. Like I said, I had left the mortgage business. I hadn't been producing in the mortgage business for like almost 2 years. So my money had dried up. You know, I went back to working a full-time job. I had just started a full-time job because I had dedicated so much time to writing music and taking it serious. Because I was like, man, I was at like 29 at the time. I'm pushing 30. I'm like, man, I'm behind the 8 ball. I got to get to writing just consistently. I can't really focus on anything else but just write music and get my skills up. So, and I was living in my house. You know, I had a mortgage, I had bills, of course. So I'm spending money every month. I'm spending money for studio time. I'm spending money on beats. I'm spending money on content. And it got to the point where it was around July of 2023. And I was just in a tough space financially, bro. And I had to go back to getting a job just to kind of balance out everything. So between me working a full-time job, learning the new skill I was trying to learn to really just finance me being able to just create music and let God use me full-time and express myself through music, you learning a new skill, which is trading, and also working a full-time, it was a lot to balance. So I'm like, man, I got to figure out a way to balance this, because one day I was hot doing this, and another day it was cold. Like I would be consistent with the trading, then I would stop for a little while and get more consistent. I was just trying to find a way to balance everything.
Yeah.
So I had reconnected with these young dudes that I know from back in the day. I was always like older than them, and they always kind of looked up to me, and I had lost contact with them for a while. And now they're like in their early 20s now, 19, 20. Mm-hmm. And one of the young guys, man, he's real advanced in his thinking. And he's just trying to do big things. And I see a lot of myself in him. So he reached out to me, and he was like, man, I see everything you're doing, man. You've always been just a real stand-up dude. And I like for you to be a part of like this organization I'm kind of starting, where I get young brothers together, and I kind of try to give them guidance through older guys in the community that I feel like could help them on their path. So I started going to these meetups with them, and I know I'm being kind of long.
No, go, bro. I'm chiming in.
Yeah. So at the meeting, I was basically trying to stress to the young dudes, like, it's important to just take action. You know what I'm saying? Like, and because that's how you grow. You learn through your struggles, you learn through your trials, you learn more about yourself, people, you learn more about God. So it's important to just start taking action. So what I did was I was like, man, let's just do 90 days. We're going to do 90 days. We all pick a goal, and we're going to do this thing every day for 90 days. And when we meet up again, we're going to talk about our results. So that's where it initially started. And it was even a challenge for me, because I was like, all right, what I'm going to do is outside of working and outside of studying and writing music, or when you combine all that, I'm just going to do, when I get off work, I'm going to do just 1 hour. I told them I'm going to commit myself to 1 hour of studying trading. All right. And I'm going to do 1 hour of writing music every single day. This is my non-negotiable. Every day I'm doing an hour. I'm contributing an hour to each one, and I'm sticking to it for 90 days. Mm-hmm. So that 90 days ended up turning into more. I just kept on going after the 90 days. So that's kind of, and I had wrote, and in that time of me dedicating myself to writing every day for the hour, I had, amassed a lot of material. So I was like, man, I'm going to drop an EP, because I was already dropping singles. So I was like, I'm going to drop an EP. And I was trying to think of a name for it. And I guess this guy just gave me that title. So instead of me saying 90 days straight, 100 days straight,
100 days is sick too, bro. It's sick. The whole album's sick. I want to ask you this though, man, because you said something that I know a whole lot of people, like, it's a critical point in many brothers' lives, right? Like you had identified your passion, life was life, and things kind of turned and went a different way. At the point where things kind of got rough, and you said, hey, I had to go ahead and get another job and make this. At that point right there is where most men abandon that thing that I'll say God source put inside of them. And it's easy to. It's easy to, when it gets hard, it's to get hard. And you did what you had to do, man. Like, you manned up and said, you know what, I gotta make things work. But you didn't abandon that passion. like when a lot of people will say, you know, a lot of dreams and goals and inventions and all this stuff are in the graveyard. And I believe that point you talked about is why that is. Like a lot of men, like pressure will make a man either go harder or retreat. I want to ask you, what was that thing, if you have a name for it, or if you can explain it, what was that thing that makes you say, you know what, okay, life has hit this, I'll say quote unquote bottom, for the lack of better words right now. What was that thing that made you say, you know what, I'm going to keep pursuing this thing inside of me, even though the world is crumbling? I understand there's something in me that, like, this is my gift. What made you keep going that route and not retreat, brother?
I think it's a combination of things. I think it's number one, just the knowledge I've amassed. No, I'm not even gonna put that number one. Number one I'm gonna put is just from my experience. My brand and my label is called 7 Summers. The concept of 7 Summers is basically the 7 summers from me graduating high school, the summer of me graduating high school up until the summer of 2016. It was 7 summers, and I spent 7 summers in the streets basically. And all the things that I went through in the streets, I can go. It'll take a long time to go through all that, but just a couple things. There's a lot of things happen basically, and I felt I dealt with a lot of pressure, and things looked bleak at that time too. But I just kept on going, and I saw that just by me staying consistent and me having faith and me believing and me knowing that I'm doing this for a greater good. I'm not. That might sound crazy, but I know what I want out of this. You know what I'm saying? It's not to cause destruction or be negative or do damage. I'm just trying to build and do something great for just not only just me but my family. So me going through that, it let me know when I was going through this that those troubles again, things will get better. You know, and I basically went through the same thing when I transitioned out of the streets and going into the mortgage and real estate space. You know, Myron Golden has his quote where he says, "Intention always follows destruction." Whenever you set out on a path to do something great, or whenever you set your intentions on doing something, the first thing that's going to show up is obstacles. So I always knew, like, I just got to keep on pushing through it. Just keep going, keep having faith, keep believing, keep being consistent, and things will get better. It's just a test.
Yeah. So you know, one thing I love about your music, man, and you said something about it. You said I can't remember how you just said it, like something for the greater good, or, you know, but your music is very unique. And I'll tell you why I say that, man. Like when I say is unique is because like the cadence, the swag that comes with it, the energy behind it is like that. It's like that. It's that. I don't want to say trap, but it's that energy. Like when I'm working out, it's that energy. When I'm riding around block and I'm turning blocks, it's that energy. Yeah. But at the same time, it's gold coming in the soul. Yeah. And it's hard to find that balance. And I don't want to say conscious rapper because it ain't conscious rap, but it's consciousness coming out. So it's a weird mixture of knowledge coming through, I guess what in the South we would call like that trap vibe, something I can work out to and get fed at the same time, man. So I want to ask you, like, who's your inspiration, bro? Like who's the one or two artists that's without even, I'm not going to even ask the artists that are in your playlist. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, who was your go-to artist?
My go-to artist, I'll just say for like my whole life been, number one, Tupac was like my first artist that really I connected to emotionally.
Why Pac?
Pac?
Yeah, why Pac?
I just could see myself in him, I guess, bro. You know, like I could see a lot of myself in him. And I mean, Pac is before my time because I was born in 91. So Pac is like before my time, kind of. I just grasped, I guess, the cusp of it, like in the late 2000s. He died in 96, but like his music was still kind of flowing. But when I heard his, like there was something in it that was different from any other music I'd ever heard. And I was in love with music, you know, like a lot of us. Music is like the soundtrack to our lives. But he was like the first artist that I really connected to emotionally because he just brought a different energy in his music, and you can tell it was just real. He just put a lot of his raw emotion in it. You could tell he was being vulnerable in it, and I connected to it. Him, DMX, Jay-Z, Jadakiss, Nipsey, Nipsey's like the latest one that I connected to more because I could see a lot of myself in him as well. Those are like my top 5 ones. Yeah.
I meant, man, that's a good list, man. And I think you can't go wrong with Pac, man. And when you said Pac, it shocked me. That's why I said why Pac, because I knew the age difference, man. But yeah, Pac he's that universal. I mean, it's almost timeless music. Yeah. I kind of want to swap up, man, and ask you. I kind of want to just get in really like who you are, man, because you you a heavy brother. Like even in power circle meetings, man, when you speak up and give your spiel, it's coming from a sacred space, man. And I want to tie that to, you know, what we were talking about earlier on how you stay plugged into vision. Like how does Chris Cadet stay plugged in? Not necessarily when the bottom is falling out, but 7 days a week. Like, what are some of your rituals? What are some of your practices? What are some of the things that you may do that a lot of men might not understand that keep you plugged into that singular truth?
Oh man, I would say just knowing what I want, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Knowing what I think anyone that wants to stay plugged in and stay consistent, it's important to know what you want out of life. And it might not be knowing what you want out of the grand scheme of your life, but knowing what you want even like in the next 10 years. I have a vision in my mind, and I don't necessarily have goals because I think goals are attached to like a time frame. I do have things that I want to accomplish, but I just know that I know the outcome that I want or the output that I want, and I know what inputs I have to do every day to get that output. So I don't know when that output is going to come. I can't say, exactly when it's going to come, but I know that if I continue to do the inputs every day and continue to do my daily disciplines every day, it's going to become what I want it to become because I've seen it happen. I think that's just law. And also it's happened before in my life. So I know the formula works. So that's how I really stay plugged in and stay, disciplined.
What are some of those daily disciplines, bro?
Daily disciplines are like mainly just writing every day and studying every day. I dedicate myself to do at least 1 hour of studying every day and the skill I'm trying to learn, and writing every day to keep my skills up. So those are like my main 2 daily disciplines that I do to create to continue to create this new life I want to build for myself, and my family.
Who is God to Chris Cadet?
Man, that's a heavy one. I think,
and I know you that brother that can answer that. I want to get inside your mind, bro, because you plugged.
Yeah, I think honestly, but I think God is His consciousness, man, and I think consciousness is everywhere. It's everyone serves what I grew to learn is that everyone serves a different concept of God. You know what I'm saying? And you hear people arguing about what God is on the internet all the time, and it's just like, who really knows what God is? What really God is. We just heard the term and we got an understanding through living in this existence, but we don't really know what God is. But to me, I think God is everywhere, man. God is just creation. You know what I'm saying? And God is that power that's within me. You know what I'm saying? He put a seed of Himself in me. I'm God's child, so I have to be part of God as well.
Facts, brother. I see brothers showing love. I see a lot of brothers in the circle in there, man. I see brother Bryce said Palm Beach, stand up.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Love y'all brothers, man.
Down there in Florida. I see brother Alchemistic, 90 days. Excellent. Brother said awesome.
Brother, I thought James is the only one in the power circle from Palm Beach. So Bryce must be from Palm Beach too.
I forgot about. I think brother Bryce is from Palm Beach, man.
Oh, okay, we definitely.
So brothers from the circle showing love, man.
Appreciate y'all, man. I couldn't see the chat. I had it on private chat, but now I got.
Yeah. Brothers in there showing love, man. So what's the? And this is a broad question. What's the creative process for Chris Cadet? And what I mean by that is, like you've gone through all the stages of creation, man, because you've like, and I'll say it like this: listening to your music, like when I listen to music, like, and I won't say I'm a connoisseur, but I'm very peculiar about what I listen to. Like when I listen to music, it has to do something to me. It has to be like I have to be hearing a person's truth. Yeah. Like I can't just listen to music just to listen to music. It has to be some truth in it.
I'm the same way.
And when I hear your music, I hear like from first track to last track, it's all something you experience. Yes, so what's the creation process or / transmutation process, right? Transmutation process of you going from your experiences to having a full album. Not even just that, but in life. Like even when you saw yourself, because the first time I met you, man, you were, I'm not sure how much you weighed, but when I saw you again, brother, you had put some pounds on.
Yeah.
So like your creation process, is it meditation? Is it 100% work? No, like what is your process of saying, okay, I'm at A, my desire is to be at Z. These are the steps I'm going to put into place to accomplish that. What does that look like for Chris Cadet?
Yeah, first of all, I want to say thank you, bro, for even listening to my music, man, because like it's so much music out there, and we only have so much time in a day, especially with everything we got going on. So for the fact that you take the time to actually listen to my music, bro, I really appreciate that.
I've been bumping since the first album, bro. It's you and my Spotify playlist. You spread out all through. You've been in there, bro.
Yeah, you told me that. I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, man. I pump it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, my creation process really, it's evolved over time, and I'm sure it's going to continue to evolve. But it changes too. Like for the most part, like I said, I do it every day. So I might have something I'm working on that I continue to work on, or I might be working on a new song. So basically, it depends. I might have a concept that I'm working on for a project. So I'll look for a certain type of beat to match the tone, the theme of the project. And once I hear the beat, I'll kind of get in. Let me say this: I usually read before I write. I try to read before I write. I try to read something spiritual before I write, just to get tapped in a little bit more. Or I try to like do like a bit of, I guess you could say, meditation. I just try to get centered, man. I just try to get, try to get clear and just let God kind of express itself through me. So yeah, when I just play the beat, once I feel like I'm centered enough, I'll play a beat, and then I'll just listen for the words. I'll just like mine for words.
Facts.
Facts.
That's solid, man. Like I say, man, I can tell when I listen to music, even if it's somebody I don't know personally, I can tell if it's coming from a certain place, man.
And that's I want to say, my bad, not to cut you off.
No, go ahead, bro.
And that's the thing about art, man. Like a lot of times producers, it's like they'll play beats for you, and it's like you can't. I can't speak for every artist, but for me personally, I can't just rap on any beat at any time. Sometimes I can just hear a beat and I can just flow. But usually when I hear a beat, I gotta hear. I pull from my emotions, so I gotta feel. It has to pull the emotion out of me that helps me paint a picture and tell a story from the beat. So yeah,
I feel you.
The beat kind of tells the story, and I pull from my emotions and my experiences, and I start to create on the beat.
Facts, man. Like the music is dope, man. Hey, we're gonna take a brother Alchemistic as where can he hear the music, and can I post a link?
Yeah,
I can post a link.
Okay, if you got a link ready, you can post it. We appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, but is it Spotify? Where all can he find it? Is it YouTube? Is it?
Man, you can go on if you have Spotify. Spotify's a good one. Apple Music. I actually have let me get my link. Let me throw my links up real quick.
Okay, well, we're gonna take a 60-second break real quick anyway, man. But when we come back, bro, I want to talk about something, man, and I really hadn't planned on talking about it, but we've talked every time we talk, pretty much mainly in person. You mention your brother a lot, man. So I want to talk about your brother, man, and how maybe he inspired your music, man. I want to talk about how important the people close to you are, man. How important having a proper circle around you is, man. So we'll come back in 60 seconds, man, and talk about that, brothers.
Absolutely.
Thing number 7 that men do to ruin their lives is that they don't keep a brotherhood of like-minded men around them. They don't have a band of brothers. They are not part of a tribe. The thing that men do that really ruins their life is that they live like an island. You act like a lone wolf. You are not meant to be a lone wolf. You are not meant to be an island. You are meant to find like-minded dudes who share your core values. Because if you're like, dude, these are my core values, these are my non-negotiables, this is how I roll in life. I'm an extreme, unreasonable, impatient motherfucker that wants to make a lot of money, be fit and jacked, be self-actualized and self-disciplined, and do a lot of good for humanity. And I find other dudes like that to connect with. That's my tribe. That's my band of brothers. That is the brotherhood that I belong to.
So real quick, anybody that's watching that's not a part of some valuable circle, I would definitely extend the opportunity to join the power circle. It's a circle of powerful brothers like Brother Chris Cadet, brothers like a few of the brothers that are in the chat, men that are just striving towards greatness. Like that's what it's about. So anybody interested in the circle, you can definitely look in the links of any of my videos, look in the links of any of my channels or Instagram or whatever social media, man, and find that definitely. And if you don't join the power circle, join some circle. Like the brothers you put yourself around have a huge amount of influence on your life. And one thing I always say, that it's easy for a man, like when a man is flying solo, no friends, no circle, no nothing, just him by himself. It's easy for that man to think he's flying high. But it's not until you put yourself around other brothers that are winning in certain areas and doing different things that you can really see where you are. You know, you might think your health is good until you get in the room with the brother that's been in the gym for 100 days straight. You might think your money is good until you put yourself in a room with a brother that just started a side business and now he has passive income. So if not the power circle, put yourself in some circle so that you can elevate as a man. So, Brother Chris, like there's been times we've talked, man, and you'll quickly mention your brother, man. So I can tell that maybe he had an influence on your music, but I know for a fact that he had an influence on your life, man. Tell me the importance, man, of your brother in your life, if you don't mind, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. And I posted the links to my Spotify, my Apple Music in the private chat because for some reason I can't post it in the comments. So
I got you.
I don't know if you're able to like copy and paste it.
I got you. Say less.
Yeah, my older brother. I mean, I would say I got to give him a lot of the credit because he's the reason I'm probably doing music right now. He's always been really into it, and that's part of the 7 Summer story. Like he came home from the pen in 2010. He was locked up for 10 years, and even when he was locked up, he would always call me and tell me about all the plans he had when he came home, how he wanted to build a studio. He was always writing music while he was in prison. He knew I had talent, so every time he would call me, he would want to hear something I wrote, but I wasn't really into it too much back then. I love to listen to it, and I write here and there, and every time I wrote something, it was always fire. And a lot of my homies around me, they was writing music too, but I never really got deeply into writing music. And one of my friends that died, that's part of the whole 7 Summers too. He was like heavy into writing music, and he would always me in the studio too. Like he was like nice too early, and he wrote a bunch of songs. But my brother, he would always call me and ask me if I wrote anything, and he would call me and he would let me hear what he wrote in prison. And when he came home in 2010, he hit the ground running, and he really kept it. He kept the music around me. You know what I'm saying? And in 2014, I think it was, in 2015, we ended up building like a small studio in my mom's storage at my mom's house. And that's when I really started to get into writing music again. And one day he just came to me, he was like, man, we're going to build a studio. And so he started building the studio, and we had like a little booth in there. It was small, but it was legit though. We had an engineer in there engineering us. And he had recorded his first album, and I was featured on a couple songs. Every time I would write, the reception I would get from people that heard it was always like, damn, bro, you need to be doing this. And at that time, I was transitioning out of the streets to get into the mortgage business. It was like 2015, 2016. And I was more focused on just, man, how do I make some more money, man? I got some money saved up. I'm trying to be straight by the time I'm 30. At this time, I'm like 23, 24. And so I was like, I had learned about this other guy that transitioned out of the streets to become a successful real estate entrepreneur. And I was like, I had always heard about real estate, but I didn't really know nothing about it. So I was, between doing music and learning about real estate and getting more into the real estate space, I chose to go to the real estate route because I was like, man, the rapping ain't gonna pay me. I'm good at it, but me not understanding really at that time, your gift make room for you. I don't know, maybe I could have been somewhere else, but I think everything happens for a reason. But I chose to dive in more into real estate. I ended up being a realtor, ended up becoming a loan officer as well, going on to start purchasing. I purchased 2 properties. I was blessed enough to purchase 2 properties. And I actually wrote a book as well called Real Estate is the World. Yeah, that just talks about how you could basically open up the door to intergenerational wealth just by owning the roof over your head. So I dive deep into like how you can start building generational wealth just by owning real estate, owning.
That's what's up. Have you and your brother thought about ever doing like maybe an album together or?
Yeah, we haven't right now. He's going through some legal issues right now again. So, you know, and that's another, you know, situation we kind of fighting through right now. But he but yeah, he was like my biggest influence, man. And
that's what's up.
If it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be making music because he just kept it around me, you know. And he ended up getting the actual physical location. We closed down the one that the studio we had at my mom's house, and he got an actual location. And you know, now we able to rent it out to different people that come in, they pay for studio time. And that's really when I started taking it more serious. It's when we started getting the studio, and you know, that's when I really started making music like every day.
Just hearing you talk about it, man, it gives me the vibe of like you mentioned earlier, Nipsey and his brother, man, just two brothers on the same path, man, kind of doing the same thing, man. Hey, like the game has changed, like, and I'll say over the last, it could, and I could be way out, but like as far as the industry, the music industry, it's changed over the last 5, 10, 15, maybe, you know, over time. Like it used to be back, of course, back when I was, you know, younger, man, it was all about, you know, getting big record deals. But like with the way the world is moving now, and I'm not in the industry, but that almost seems like something that's a thing of the past. Like whether you're writing books, whether you're putting content out, whether you're making documentaries, and to be honest, whether you're making music, it seems like just being and remaining independent is hands down the way to go. Do you have any desires to get signed to some label, or is Seven Summers going to be the long haul for Chris?
Man, that's a great question, bro. I don't have a desire to get signed, and honestly, so I don't even know if I really have a real desire to be an actual artist, man. Like it was never really my thing. I just have a desire to express myself. You feel me? And music happens to be the medium that I use to do it. Just like you know, you're amazing at making YouTube videos and doing these interviews and stuff like that. Like this is the means of expression, and that's what the music is for me. I never really think about getting signed. I don't really care to blow up like that. I just care to express myself, and that's why I work so hard to establish a situation where I could do this shit full time. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have to worry about going to work and paying bills. That's why I'm trying to learn this skill so I can really devote all my time into letting God speak through me, because I really feel like I have a potent message that can really help people, inspire people, and change lives. And I just do my best to create that situation and just continue to let God work through me. So yeah, I don't really want to get signed. I mean, if it happens to happen, if it makes sense, then yeah. But just like you said, that the industry's changed a lot, bro. Like, and that's what I didn't understand back then, because social media was different back then. If it was how it is back then, perhaps I would have went straight into just doing music full time, and maybe I could have been further along my musical journey. You feel me? But it just didn't make no sense back then. But now, like with reels and, you know, building it, it's not even about it seems like it's not even about the music anymore. It's like people are more interested in who you are as a person, and that in turn makes them support your music because they support who you are as a person. And just it's really just content creators. We just really just content creators now. It ain't really I don't even listen to your music a lot of times. They just like who you are, and they just support you. You know what I'm saying?
Like, and to me, and the reason I asked that is because of course I'm not in the music industry, but to me, it wouldn't even make sense for an artist to desire that, because it's so like pretty much all industries now are so intimate. Like 20 years ago, there would be no relationship with me and a Chris Cadet. It would be like I hear his music and there is a gap. Like there was no social media. So there was no connection. And since there was no connection, the downside of that is that everybody had to go through a publisher or industry. So in the industry now, it seems like being independent is the way to go. You mentioned just being able to express yourself, man. And when you said that, bro, I can feel that. And I know that me having spent, last couple of years seeing you evolve, I can see you evolving into something else easy, man. What's one or two avenues? What's one or two industries? What's one or two genres of life would Chris Cadet evolve into to express that God in him?
Repeat the question again. You said what's one or two?
Like you say like you don't even see music being like music may not be the only thing. You just want to express yourself. Yeah. How else could you express yourself? And what other industry? Would it be an author? Would it be a minister?
That's a great question. I think that I'm not really too sure right now, but if I just had to say off the top of my head, it'll probably be through books, maybe through writing books, just expressing my disposition and my who I am as a person and my philosophy, or possibly maybe later on down the line through some kind of ministry. You know what I'm saying?
I can see you doing that.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah.
I see, brother. Low Life 1981 said it's all about leveraging your lifestyle within divine needs. Facts.
That's
Facts.
fact.
He said it's all about the swag. You know, facts. Like it's all, and you just said it. It's all about that energy, because there are some people who really aren't as talented as far, you know, lyrically. You know, they might have a solid beat, but the lyrics aren't really all of this. But their energy is good. I think that's changed the game, man. Like I say, years ago, man, it was all lyrics, but now a lot of personality plays into it. Like, are you a charismatic? You know, do you have charisma? Do you have personality? So there's a lot that definitely plays into it, man. There's definitely a lot that plays into it.
I like the bros tag, man. Leverage lifestyle. That's real.
Yeah.
It's a leverage lifestyle. It's all about swag. I like that.
That is dope, man. That is dope. Who's in Chris Cadet's top 5, man?
Whew, that's a hard one, bro.
I know it's a hard one, brother. At least give me your top 3 to 5, man.
Top 3 to 5. I would say top 5. I would say number 1 to me, Tupac. Number 2, DMX. Number 3, I gotta go with Hov. I gotta go with Jay-Z. Number 4, and these are artists that influence me the most. You know what I'm saying? That I listen to the most. Number 4, I would have to say Jadakiss. Number 4.
Jadakiss go hard.
Yeah, he influenced me a lot early on. He made me want to rap. Number 5, man. The 5th one is a hard one.
Why you putting on number 5? Also, tell me one artist that's impacted you the most that most people probably never heard of, if there is one.
Nah, I think the one that's impacted me the most, the 2 that impacted me the most, is Pac and DMX, and like most people have heard of Pac and DMX. So
was Biggie on your list? Biggie didn't make your list.
He didn't make my list. Biggie's, man, he's talented. I like Biggie a lot, but he's not. He's one of the ones that I'm you know, that can go in that last spot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think, you know, when people are asked that question, man, I think it's easy for people to automatically say Biggie, Pac, Hov. You know, so it's good to hear a list where where all 3 of those didn't make the top cut, man. But I definitely like, and it's weird that you said Jadakiss, man. I think people sleep on Jadakiss.
Yeah.
Like I can still listen to his music,
man. Styles P too. Him and Styles P. They influenced me.
Solid, man. Like when that Locks album came out, brother, I said, I'm gonna listen to this for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I would say one person that influenced me a lot that a lot of people probably don't know about is Benny the Butcher. He's another one. Like he just really popped in the recent number of years. He's real lyrically inclined, real talented artist. I like him a lot too.
Yeah, he's serious. He's underrated, man. I don't hear his name. I don't hear his name in enough conversation, man.
Yeah,
it's a lot of people out there, man, that every once in a while they'll cross my feed or I'll see them on YouTube and I'm like, I forgot about brother. Sister Victoria's chiming in. They're just waving hello. Here with the baby and enjoying listening to this conversation. I want baby Osiris to subconsciously soak this up. Shout out to my sister Victoria down in Houston, Texas. Her and her husband Derek just had a beautiful young king, man, Osiris. So congratulations to them, man. They're beautiful, just some beautiful people, man. And I'm gonna tell you this, y'all are chiming in, listening to Chris Cadet, man. Definitely a brother that young Osiris definitely needs to be plugged into.
Appreciate y'all for chiming, for tapping in, man. It's love.
Yeah, Lowlife said Jada and Styles have both shown and displayed positive growth as men.
Absolutely.
Most definitely. I love when I can see artists and musicians or anybody in that arena that can still get on stage but evolve as men.
That's right.
Like I love it. Jada is heavy in like the health and fitness arena, man, which, 10, 15, whatever, 20 years ago when they were popping, I would have never seen that coming. So it's all about evolving.
And I think that the reason I'm drawn to those artists as well is because not only who they are musically, but who they are as people too. You know what I'm saying? And I just like what they represent. You know what I'm saying? We come from similar lifestyles. And I just like you said, I like how they've evolved. And even when they spoke about the reality of their situations, they always do some nuggets in there. They always do some gems in there that anybody in that pain zone in their life or anyone that's out there could really learn from and make it out of that situation and maneuver. That's what I always respected about them guys. They always gave game in their music. It was never like really glorified. I mean, some songs just for entertainment purposes and some videos, you can see some of the glorification in it, but anybody with a brain, I think, could decipher between, what's real and what's not and what they're really trying to do and the message in the music. There was always a message in the music. That's why I think I gravitated towards those guys. And look at him now, outside of Pac's message is still range, even though he's not here. DMX is not here, but his music is still very powerful. But all the other guys, man, you can see them, they've evolved and grown as men, and I respect that.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm gonna ask you this, man. Because like a lot of people will talk about like the music today and how the music today is toxic, like they'll talk about the sexy reds and they'll talk about the rappers that are saying XYZ. Do you think music nowadays, and I'm talking about rap, R&B, do you think it's more toxic now than it was 15, 20 years ago, or do you think it's just ass?
That's a loaded question.
Yes, let me say it like this, because I don't want to ask. Let me rephrase that.
I got you. If you don't mind, I'll answer it.
Okay, go ahead, bro.
It's a yes or no for me. The reason I say that is because everything is relative in my opinion. Mm-hmm. It's all relative. I think that today's generation, they're a lot more. How can I say this? They're a lot more. Their tolerance is a lot higher, I guess, for more of the toxicity. I think it seems like. Because things have gradually gotten more explicit, than it was back then. Because certain songs you couldn't even see past before a certain time. Like even when they did show, like a lot of that stuff was censored. But now, with social media and everything that's going on, things have gotten a lot more uncensored. Yeah. So in that regard, I would say, because it's relative. But I can see where you're going with it too. Or I don't know if that's where you're going with it, but that's how you feel. But I feel like. It is toxic at the same time. It is a lot more toxic at the same time. It's a lot more, graphic, man. But is
it though? I would say this. I
was something crazy.
I was saying that it was for the longest, man, because I would be listening to the radio, man, and I would say, I would hear the sexy red or whatever come on, and I would bump to it, but I'm like, man, this stuff is too much, man. Yeah. But man, every once in a while, when I hear some old music that I'm like, God dang, we're saying the same thing. I said, I don't know if it's just, and I hear a lot of people saying, oh, the music now is just different. Bro, it really ain't that much different. It's really just I think you hit the nail on the head. It's just, it's more exposed now, because you gotta think back then it wasn't no YouTube, wasn't no Spotify, it was straight wax, and then it was straight disc. But the same music was there. It's just that you couldn't really, like, if you didn't go to the record store, or if you didn't go to the party and knew what all was going on, only a certain amount of people knew about it, unless it was like a Luke Skywalker, right? But now anybody can cut on YouTube, and everybody is exposed to pink booty holes, and you know what I'm saying. So it seems like it's more heavy. But in my opinion, hell, I listened to some of that Pac and some of that Biggie. Hell, I was listening to some Biggie the other day, and I was like, I was knocking it. I was jamming this, and I was riding around the car with my mama still. I was still 15, 16 jamming this. And I'm like, God dang, I know she was probably like, what is he listening to? So
you know what? What you said is I didn't even think of it that way. Like we're a lot more, and I didn't articulate it the way you did. We are a lot more exposed to it because of all these different platforms we have now. Like you can access it very easily now. It makes it seem like wow. But I still say though, like some of the drill rap, it wasn't like that back then. Yeah, that's different. I think that's the drill rap is a little different. They were talking crazy back then too, but I don't know if it was like how it is now, man.
But man, I don't know, man. Think about MC8. Think about Run C and all them when West Coast was West Coasting. Like, man,
this is what I was saying. It wasn't different. It was the lyrics were still graphic and they were still talking crazy.
Mhm.
But for me, I would say, and I can't really speak all the way on I can't speak in depth on that music back then because it was kind of like before my time. But some of it, a lot of it I heard because I like more of old school music. But what I would say is that the frequency was different though. What I mean by the vibration to a degree was different. I don't know. It just seems now, it seems a little bit crazier now. I don't know, man. Like even back then, it had like the artist, you would hear the music, but then you hear artist, like you hear a guy like Eazy-E speak, and you're like, damn, this dude is, I don't know, man. He's a little smart, but like these artists now, you listen to the music, but then you'll learn about them. And not this is not a disrespect no artist because you are who you are. You know, I think that everything happens for a reason, but it's like, I don't know, it's different. I can't even really explain it.
I think the frequency is different because I think like back in the, and I'll date my age, man, back in the 90s, I think we were saying a lot of the same things, but I think the majority of the music was coming from a place of anger back then. Like it was a lot of anger, man. And it wasn't as many. Well, it was, you know, that we had female artists. We had artists, you know, the Salt and Peppers, which, you know, I ain't that old, but you know, I was younger, but Salt and Peppers and MC Lights and all that stuff. But like the NWAs and it was coming from a place of anger. I think music nowadays is more coming from a place of lust. It's a lot of the same words, but it's more of a lust. Like, you know, like come get it, and I'm gonna get the bag, and it's all about the sex and sex. Well, back then when I was young, it was about I'm about to take your life. I'm about to pull up. And we're still saying that, but even the brothers that are saying that for the means of getting to the yoni. So it's like it just transmuted to being more sex. Brother Leverage Lifestyle said music 20 years ago talked about the problems of the times. Now music doesn't have enough substance, so naturally it's going to be more about partying. R&B tracks left things to the imagination. Facts, man, facts. I will say this, and a lot of people that are on this live, man, will remember this. Like pre-1992, pre-1994, pre-1990, and of course, I was a youngster then. I was in middle school. Music was night and day. Like for somebody to get online and talk about some Sexy Red or some NWA type or some, it wasn't even a thing. All the music we listened to, man, was all about dancing and partying. You know, you go to a party, you go to a club, everybody out there with shiny shoes and polka dot shirts on.
Yeah.
And it was almost, and it was almost like in a matter of probably 48 months, everybody went from polka dot shirts and African medallions and shiny shoes to this and gold chains and this. Like I lived in that era where it transmuted, where it changed over, man. Like I was in that era. Like music before was all uplifting. Like people like Common, people, you know, that type of, you know, De La Soul. That was the vibe. It wasn't even such thing as getting on tracks and talking about smacking somebody. It wasn't even. It was about Will Smith's Summertime, where the ladies at, let's party, hey.
Yeah.
And Minister Society came out, and overnight it was thugged out.
You know, it's interesting, man. I read a book a long time ago, man. I was like probably like 19 at the time. It's a book called oh man, it's something about Uncle Tom's. I forgot what it's called, man, but it just talked about the music industry. And that's just what you were saying. It talked about how these record industries came in and they incentivized these artists to really start talking about this kind of stuff, and it kind of neutralized everything. But it went into that, man, and it reminded me of that book that I read a long time ago. It's the American Directory of Certified Uncle Toms, I think it is. It's an interesting read, bro. It talks about all that stuff, man. I think it's the American Directory of Certified Uncle Toms. I know. It just talked about exactly what you said. It reminded me of that.
I know there's a clip on YouTube, man, with Bone Thugs, where they were talking about that meeting they went to. And they said, man, we went to a meeting and guys just came in and, you know, suits or whatever they had on, they were different, you know. And they said, hey, this is the agenda. This is what you will talk about. This is the game plan. And they talked about how in this meeting they linked they linked our music to the prison system.
Yeah.
Like, and the guys from Bone were like, "Hey man, we got up and walked out," but they said, "Man, like they let us know that this is the agenda." So I think when a person it gets in the industry, like he's promoted for talking about taking his brother's life, man. Like even if his lyrics are whack, even if his cadence is whack, even if he's talking about slaughtering other people that look like him, he's gonna find his way if he knows the right people, and he's gonna find his way. Sister Victoria said, I agree with that 100%. Back then, there was lyricism, facts, storytelling, Slick Rick, just storytelling in raw, gritty ways, talking about pain, brokenness, unhealed generational trauma, and corruption. It was just a different, even when we talked about smacking somebody, it was still in a different, it was about smacking him. It wasn't about taking his life.
Yeah.
It was about smacking him. She also said today's rap is the result of kids raising kids, multiple generations of single motherhood, and the toxicity of the matriarch run wild in our community, feminization of our black boys. One thing I will say that's, and I'll say it's a pro, I guess, of now as far as music, is that like when I was young, like when I was 10, 11, 12, 13, and I'm riding in the car with my mama, we couldn't listen to the same thing. Like she would listen to what I listened to on the radio, but she couldn't identify with it. She was like, what are you listening to? What is that?
Yeah.
Tupac? What's going on? And it was crazy. But now me and my son can listen to the same thing. Like when he plays his playlist, of course it might be a little outside, but I know who he's listening to. Right. I've heard of that artist. Like I've heard of the whoever he's listening to, and when I play something, I might be listening to some J. Cole, I might be listening to some Chris Cadet. He can still identify with that, So that's a beautiful thing. So I believe that one good thing is between our generation, or between my earlier generation and the generation behind us, is that music has somehow bridged. Like it's like my mama was listening to Johnny Taylor. And I was like, I don't know what all that blues and stuff is. So one thing about I'll say hip hop, it might have evolved into something that can and has damaged us as people, but it has bridged the gap at the same time, man, where it closes some windows.
That's interesting you say that, man, because I mean, I think you're in your 40s, right?
Yeah, 47, 48.
48, and your son's a teenager. What is like
17? 14? Yep.
Okay, yeah. So, man, I mean that's a big difference. Like even for me, man, honestly, it's hard for me to listen to some of the music that my little nieces and nephews listen to, and I'm not even like that far apart in age. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's just I'm very particular when it comes to music. Yeah. Like just listen to music in the car. I'm very particular when it comes to my music. I listen to.
I feel you.
If I'm in a club or if I'm out, like maybe like just at a party or something, then it's like it's whatever. As long as I hear a beat and I'm feeling good, I don't really, I ain't really been drinking or nothing like that.
Yeah. Well, now I'll say this:
I can listen to anything, but like when it's just a regular, me kind of hanging out and really listening to. If I'm in an environment where I can really listen to what's being said, I can't just listen to anything.
Yeah. Basically. Now I'll say this: my playlist isn't his playlist, and his is mine. But like if we go in the gym and we go in the garage and we working out, I can listen to some of his, because he'll have a mixture of kind of what I listen to. He don't, and his playlist isn't mine, but we can mix, and that's a big difference. Yeah, you're talking about a 30-year difference, man. So yeah, that is pretty wild. But I think it's gonna be like that for a while, man, because music is doing what it's doing. Brother Alchemistic said, switch from deep red, orange chakras, deep root survival. Music frequency shifted more. Music frequency shifted more survival mode. Kobe said the next big shift happened somewhere between 2005 and 2012. Went from love and real things, love in real life to turn up demons.
That's right.
I'm playing the hips. I turn up. What you got to say about that, bro?
No, I was saying I think that in 2012 when they introduced like the drill music, it kind of really shifted the frequency of music. And not to down like any of them artists that make drill music, because some of that music is hard. I ain't gonna lie. Like I listen, like when I'm in the gym, that shit get me turned, man. I'll be in there pumping iron to them songs, man. But it's a lot of it's crazy though.
So drill music, like I'm familiar with drill, but like I couldn't tell you any. I don't have any in my playlist, but I'm just now over the last 2 or 3 years understanding what it is. Like because it's like a Chicago based thing originally, right?
I think it originated in Chicago. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So when I hear the word drill, or when I hear it, I'm thinking King Von. And when I hear drill, it is not more. It's not as much about being lyrical, which a lot of those guys are solid though. They lyrical, but it's almost like, hey, let me just get online and tell you who I smoked.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's like when them brothers get online, it's like they on some other stuff.
Right.
Like it's pretty much like we just finna sit here and put this. It ain't just about wax for us, like what you say back in the days, man. Like keep it on wax. Now them brothers talking about taking out brother, and we finna make a song about it. Yeah. That's a whole nother level of something else, man. Like, that's something else, man. But like I'll hear like some Von, and I didn't really listen to King Von until after he passed, and he got 1 or 2 tracks, maybe 3 or 4 tracks, man. Huh?
Yeah, he was talented. Same thing. I didn't really know about him until after he died, and I saw
very talented
in his music. I was like, man, this dude is talented. He
very talented, man.
He really had to get the storytelling. He was really good.
Yeah, and I can't think of the name of that song, man, that he made. Where very good storyteller. Yeah, very good. Everything is solid with that brother, man. But yeah, he definitely chose violence, man. But hey, that if it's his truth, it's his truth. Is where I look at it, man. Exactly. But the Alchemist said it went from what happened to it. He said it went from R&B to funk to hip hop. Parliament. It was a different, and brother Alchemistic. He's we know Brother P. Taylor. He's tapped into music heavy, and he gets to speaking about like that funkadelic era. Like going from there to here, it's just like it's night and day. But I will say this: as much as it is a part of our culture and the beauty of it, and how it's brought a lot of people together. I can easily say that our entertainment, our music, our movies has caused a lot of damage, man. Yeah. Like it's easy. It's and I can go back and I'm thinking about going back in the days in my mind, like when Menace to Society came out and all those movies. It was camaraderie to get in a movie theater with all us and see us on the screen. But brother, when we walked out, we were different people. Yeah. We were different people, man. Taking those movies, taking that music, it was just a gumbo. Mm-hmm. We had no idea what was being created, man. And you really didn't understand what really happened until 15 years later, until 2010, when you could look back and see the damage, and then look prior to 1990 and see how everything was, man. It was like, bro, like this happened over the course of 12, 48 months. 12, 24 months, the world shifted in our culture, man. So music is powerful. Go ahead, brother.
No, I was gonna say, that's true. And what brother Alchemistic Goldmine says about the different chakras, man, that's true, man. Even with like the drums and stuff, like it activates a different frequency in you. I don't know like the deep details of it, but I've heard about that, and that's facts, man.
Yeah. I've heard a lot about that. I've heard a lot about the 808 frequency too, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they say that is doing something to you, man.
Yes, sir.
And I think the fact that just a lot of us are spiritual. I think music plays a lot with our spirituality and our connection with Source. So I think when we hear a lot of our music, man, we're creating something and don't even know it. Yeah. So
it just becomes dangerous. And you said something. You were like, at the end of the day, it's the person's truth, which is very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts, man.
You can only well, how can I say this? If it's in you to do, you do it, right? And it just becomes dangerous because a lot, just like we talked about how this music is really spiritual, you know what I'm saying? And we're most removed and susceptible to the frequencies that's in it at an early age, you know what I'm saying? And it becomes a soundtrack to our lives. And unfortunately, when we're very young, we're influenced by it. You feel me? Mm-hmm. And some of us don't make it out of that stage to where the influence is so strong, and we end up falling victim to, I guess, like the lifestyle that the music draws us towards. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it gets kind of, dangerous. But everybody's entitled to make any kind of music they want, but it's, I don't know, man. It gets tricky, man, when it comes to that music, man.
Facts, man. It's a powerful thing, man. I want to take a 20-second break, man. I want to take that break, man, so that anybody that came in kind of late can kind of hear a snippet of your music, man. Definitely go check out Chris Cadet's latest album, man. 100 days straight. Powerful, man. Like you can tell that you're coming from a place. So let's take a 20-second break, man. I want to play a clip of the music again. And when we come back, man, I want to ask you 2 questions to start wrapping up, brother. And we'll tap into that as soon as we get back. 20-second break.
Believe me, ain't no time for all this greed and all this hate. That shit run deep and just divides and keeps us weak and stuck in place. Keep growing at your pace. Keep showing up and giving what you owe, and just keep honing up the craft you undertake. Attract more than you chase. Just grasping that gon' lead you to that lake and them green pastures. Read them psalms and then I pray. Been going 100 days straight. Been going by the 100.
Excellent music, man. As soon as I get off of here, man, I'm definitely cutting it back on, man, and listen to it while I get my work going. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was bumping it all morning, man. I was like, dang, like Chris went in like that. A couple of tracks I had to back door, and I was like, let me hear that again. Yeah, so it's definitely dope. Not only that, man, but your first album is fire. Like, and I put your music on a lot of my Instagram stories, man.
Okay.
Like at least once a week, once every week and a half, my stories are gonna have one of your tracks on there, bro. Because it's always on point, man. Now I want to change direction a little bit, man, for these last two questions, man, because I like asking people these questions to really just kind of take a peek inside of who Chris Cadet is, man. So the first question I want to ask you, brother, is just you being the man that you are. You being the man that very disciplined, very, very connected to source, very, very what's the word, man? Connected to brotherhood, man. You just a loyal brother, a loyal man. You being the man that you are right now, who would you say has had the most impact on your entire life, either living or dead? Who's had the most impact on your entire life and why?
Man, I would have to say my pops. Yeah, I have to say my dad, man. I was raised primarily by my dad.
Really?
I was raised by my dad, and he's had probably the strongest impact on me. If it wasn't for him, I'd be lost, man.
What elements of him?
Just his example, and I think that's what a lot of guys unfortunately are missing. Yeah, my screen keeps going black. I'm sorry, you guys.
Are you good, brother? You good?
Yeah, I feel like that's what a lot of young men are missing in today's time. Just in general, it's been a while. It's been like that for a while. But just he didn't really show me. I didn't really learn much from him talking. Just his example. You know what I'm saying? He was always working, and he was not much. He's not around much. But just the times I did spend with him, it was always, he just taught me just respect. Just seeing how he moved, just respect, responsibility, and just being a man that just took care of what you need to take care of. You know what I'm saying? Just handle your responsibilities. That's the main thing I got from him. And
I mean, it's powerful you said that, man, because it hasn't even been. It might have been 2 years ago. Like my son is 17 now. He's a senior. He came to live with me when he was in the 8th grade, right? And when he was here, and when he first came here, I was because, and I'll say it like this: like my father left the planet when I was 12 years old, so there was a gap of what I did and didn't know, man. So when my son first moved with me, he was, I was trying to be in his face, raise him. I was trying to make sure I'm talking to him, and I heard somebody say something, man, and it lined up what you just said, bro. And I learned that it's not as much about what I'm saying to him, it's what he's seeing me do.
Yep.
So I and a beautiful thing happened, man. I kind of backed up which I was never hounding him, but I kind of backed up and let him be his own self and just let him see me move.
Mm-hmm.
And as he started seeing me straightly move, his actions changed. So what you're saying, man, holds a lot of weight. And I think a lot of us men need to hear that, you know, especially Sister Vicky. I hope your husband Derek is listening. They just had a brand new son. This is huge. Like a lot of men don't understand that it's not as much about what you say as much as it is about what you do, man.
Absolutely.
So yeah, go ahead, brother.
No, I just said absolutely.
Yeah, I'm glad your pops was in your life. And I remember.
No, I was gonna say he didn't really. My pop, we didn't really start saying "I love you" to each other till I was like a grown man, bro. I'm talking about I'm like probably late 20s, man. Me and my pops probably said "I love you" to each other probably like in my whole life probably less than 100 times.
Like, what do you think changed? What do you think made that start up?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if it's just we both became more comfortable with ourselves in our relationship as I got older. We both got closer as I got more older and mature. That allowed for that expression. But he showed me that he loved me just through, like I said, through his actions. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and it is crazy because, like, I think that for you, like you said, you lost your pops at 12. Just I know even in them 12 years of him being in your life had a lasting impact on your life. It made you the man you are, probably. You know what I'm saying? Because they say that the most important years of our lives and where the most programming happens mentally is from the time we're born up into like adolescence, like 11, 12.
Yeah.
Even like early 7. So just
like 1 to 7 years old, man.
Yeah, just even having a strong father figure in your life up until like the age of 10, 12 could like set you up for the rest of your life. You move different. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the dudes I was around, I seen the difference in how I move and how they move because I had a dad in my life. You feel me?
Yeah.
My dad was around. I always just moved different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah.
It's crazy because even when I got older and I saw somebody ask about the power circle, I'm trying to pull a link up real quick to put that link in the power circle. Definitely want to get joined up. But, you know, for the longest time, I didn't understand because like I said, my pops died when I was, 12, maybe getting ready to turn 13, somewhere right in there, right? And it was weird, man, because once I hit like 18 and 21, I was thinking back and things that he was telling me when I was 6, 7 would just come in my mind. I was like, bro, he was planting seeds like way back then, man. So what you're saying is dead on, man. Like that influence. I can't find that power circle link, but I can pull it up here in a second when we get wrapped up. But that 1 through 7 years, man, is critical, bro.
Yeah, it's powerful.
It's critical. Let me get my screen back right, man. So yeah, I'm glad Pops had that impact on you, man.
Absolutely.
And the final question I want to ask is like you're still a very young man, man. You're still a very young man. You're a very healthy man. So inshallah, man, you live to see several years, man. But on the day that Chris Cadet no longer exists on this planet, man, the day your closest brothers and family and friends are putting dirt over you, man, and walking away from your grave, brother. What is it that you want to say that you left mankind? Like, what piece of knowledge, what information, or what one thing would you leave society to make the world a better place, bro?
Man, I would say I just want everyone to continue to try to get as connected as they can to Source and allow Source to really use them to express what he's trying to express through them on this plane. You know what I'm saying? That's like my main mission in life, is just really to get to the point where I could really let God use me to my fullest ability. You know what I'm saying? And be of service to humanity in my most authentic and full and real capacity. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. That's amazing, bro. Man, I want to thank you again, brother, for carving out time in your schedule, bro. It's been a long time coming, man. I've been wanting to have you on the show and just talk for a long time because, like I say, me and you, we cross paths, we get on a circle. But if it's just me and you to have a sit down and let's just talk, man, and really tap into the music, because I've been listening to your music, man, for a minute now. and to just really sit down and see where the inspiration comes from, to kind of see, you know, what the things that made you the man that you are now, the relationship with your father, relationship with your brother, you know, the challenges you overcome. Now the music makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
It makes more sense now. Now I could feel the music, but now I understand where the music is coming from. So amazing job on the album. Anybody watching, definitely go follow. Tell them your socials if you don't mind, brother.
Yeah, man. I want to say appreciate you too, man, for bringing me on, man. I deeply appreciate it, and I definitely enjoyed this conversation, man, for real. Yeah. So if anyone wants to follow me, they can follow me on Instagram. It's basically _ my name, Chris, CHRIS, Cadet, like the Army, CADET. So yeah, that's _ Chris Cadet on all social media platforms, and on Twitter, not Twitter, but on YouTube, it's the same thing. It's just Chris Cadet. And if you reach out to, if you get my Instagram, I have a link to all my other socials as well. So, you know, it'll lead you to all the other ones.
Man, well, thanks again for coming, brother. Hey, we got to do it again, brother.
Absolutely, man. I'm looking forward to it, man. I appreciate all y'all for joining and chiming in and, you know, interacting, man. I appreciate all y'all, man. I love all y'all.
A million thanks, brother.
Absolutely. Salute, my brother.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
I sort of wrap it up. I just want to re-emphasize what I started off saying. Like, it's all about being great. Like I said, what my partner Wes said, you know, over a year ago, sitting right here. He said, man, before we leave this planet, it's all about tapping into that greatness. It's all about, like, let's experience greatness before we leave this planet. So I'm telling you, brothers, I'm telling you, sisters, go inside of yourself today. Sit still for 5 or 10 minutes and say, you know what rock in my life am I not rolling over? What leaf am I not picking up and looking up under? What thing inside of me that I've been desiring that I know I can accomplish? What album can I extract from myself? What book can I write? What movie can I make? What invention can I create? Like, it's inside of all of us. It's inside of all of us. So I just want to tell y'all, brothers and sisters, find that thing. Be great. Be amazing. Thank y'all for joining. It's Soul Immortal. And I'm out.